I'm not sure if this is going through. So when people start coming on, I guess we will find out. Um, can you guys hear me? Hey, Maxwell. Thank you, Maxwell. That's really nice to say. Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me because I can't tell with the live stream IO. Hey, Alec, how you doing? Hey, Rainbow. Good to see everybody now. Claude says, "Ah, yes, now I do." Good. Yeah, I was quiet at first because I was trying to figure out if it was actually doing something. Sophia, yay, Sophie, you're here. Shitsuku, I'm saying that wrong probably. We can hear you. So excited. I'm so excited to be here too. Okay, I'm going to set up the actual chapters now so that I can actually read them when it's time to read them. For those of you who are new to this, I read live 2 chapters in a couple of parts. In between, people ask questions and I answer them. You can ask any questions you like. I am happy to answer them. This is a gay sci-fi romance, although honestly, they've just had like a kiss. It's a lot of action adventure, and you can follow along on the actual site where the stories is, which I'll put that link in a second. We have all these coming up, and we do these regularly, twice a month. So let me just get to that. Empire of Stars. This is the second time I'm using this particular software, so I'm new at using this. So I sincerely hope that it works well. Okay. And this is, I'm going to show that one. So let's see here. I missed a few here. Okay, so Claude says bonjour. I did that so terribly. Miss Lily says hello all. Tyler says there is an echo. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to fix that. There shouldn't be, but it might just be the system. I'm just a little bit afraid to change anything. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Try yes, okay. I had to okay, I see what's going on here. That's why you didn't have me, and I was babbling to myself. Good. Sorry, guys. I really thought I was doing something good, and I am not doing something good when I did that. This is why we start early. No, it's not. The way this works, the system works, I don't wanna show myself on air. I just wanna share a screen. And what it does is it has like two things that say on air. One is the image, and one is, I guess, me. And if you have me off, it turned off the actual, I don't know why, but it turned off the microphone. Okay, good. We're back. And this is what's so sad is that I honestly like was babbling at you that entire time when you couldn't hear me. So sorry, guys. It's a good Saturday. It's a good Saturday. But don't worry. We are not starting until a little bit after 2 o'clock. I do this for the very purpose of the fact that I make mistakes. So Crystal says yes, you can hear me. Everyone says yes. Melissa, hi, Melissa. So this is excellent. Okay, now I've gotten rid of the hide messages on the screen, so I'm hoping that your messages will come up as we go through. We shall see. We shall see. So just to refresh everybody, this is a live stream of Empire of Stars, which is my gay science fiction romance serials. One of them. It's the only science fiction one I'm running right now. We're going to read 2 chapters today. Alec, I did get the bit about your move. I actually responded to that, and clearly no one heard me. I was going to say moving sucks. I sincerely hope that you get your new place and that it's as fabulous as you feel it, as it seems to be. That'll be great. But moving is awful. I never want to do it again. Although I don't know about anyone else, with the pandemic, I've sort of wanted a larger space. Virginia says, "Yay, this is my first time catching you live reading. I'm so excited. I'm so excited you're here. Excellent." Sophie says, "We were saying that Cinders and Ashes is awesome when you got cut." So what I was trying to say was, thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys like it, love it. I'm having a blast writing it. It's been very hard. It's I did double the size of a normal book for the second book in the same amount of time, and I really burnt myself out a bit. So I'm trying to like take some time off, but I've got the day job, I've got this. So and I really appreciate those of you who are writing reviews. That is hugely important because what we use the books for, besides just pleasure for me writing them and obviously some income, but truthfully, it's to get more members. Um, Members is where my concentration is at, and a lot of people, about the third of the people that come into the membership, find me in Amazon and are like, "Oh, I'll check out this person's writing on the site," and then they sign up. So reviews are really important to convince them to try the book in the first place, and hopefully they'll, go on and be with us after that. Uh, Okay, so Sophie says, "Why did Cinders and Ashes have to end like this, though? You're evil. I need book 3 now." You're gonna love book 3. In fact, Marina gave me a fantastic idea for book 3 that I didn't quite understand, but I'm like, yes, it's perfect. Why did I need to cut it off? I honestly ran out of time. No, that was actually the place where I wanted to leave it off. It was about 75,000 words, and I was like, yeah, this is good. This is the perfect place to end it. Alex says, "Thank you. Wherever I can enjoy your stuff is home to me." Aw, Alec. Ah, that's so sweet. Alexa says, "I've been cutting down on stuff since sent home for work." Cutting down on stuff. Yeah, I mean, we're all trying to. The 13th Moon Watcher says, "Thank you for doing that. The book was awesome, and I'm excited for the next one." That's exactly what I want to hear. If you haven't and are inclined, I would love it if you would review it. Like I said, very important. I hate asking. I always am like, it's like when you ask people subscribe, ring the bell, and press that like button. It's like you have to do it just to remind people. And I don't mind it, but I hate asking. Um, Crystal says, "Yes, you're evil. I loved it so much, but that cliffhanger ending, sheesh." Well, that's why I put those cliffhanger warnings at with each and every book. I always get people who complain, but it's really funny. The cliffhanger. The more people go on, it's how it always is. They might ding you a little bit, but man, they need to find out what happened. That's important. 13th Moon Watchers already did. Thank you so, so, so much. Oh, Marina, glad to be inspiration for Sinners and Ashes. That book blew my mind so much. Well, your suggestion was awesome. So, guys, those of you, and I think even non-members can do this. If you go to the blog on my site on raytherain.com, it's on the first page. Please put your thoughts in the blog post because Marina did. And I'm going to tell you that honestly is just the best. I'm taking her suggestion and I'm weaving it into the book, and I'm telling you, it was much better than what I was thinking of. So I know you guys have good ideas. Put them there. Or even put them here, to be perfectly honest. Claude says, I have cuts now and then in the audio. I don't know. It says it's doing fine. Could just be that the system is sort of crap. It says that my network connection is 10 out of 10. So I don't know. That's disruptive. Oh yeah, Claude, I'm sorry, it might be you. I don't hope it's anyone, but I certainly hope it's not me because that would be bad for everybody. Sophie says, "Where are Marina's ideas? I can't find them." Marina, did you put it in the blog post or did you put it in a comment or did you just send it to me on Facebook when we were chatting? I thought you put it in the blog post. Hold on, let me give you the blog post link just for those of you who can't find it. She's Vera Lemur on the blog post. Let me just get that link. So there's that link. I know we talked a lot in FB Messenger, but I think this is the one where you put it. I have to go back and I actually have to answer some more comments. Yes, it's her, it's Vera Lemur's, yeah. You actually responded to it, Sophie. It's that comment. Right. Right. So for those of you who aren't members, just so you know, most of the goodness in my stories is because honestly, they give me the ideas and then I can just incorporate them. And that's true with Cinders and Ashes. I think it's going to be a 4 to 5 book story. I don't know which though, by the way. So we're at 157 here, so we still have some time before I'm going to begin because I'm going to give people until a little bit after 2 o'clock. So Angelica says, "Hi all, it's my first time live too, and I'm one of those coming from Amazon. Excellent, yay! I'm so happy that I found your website. Unfortunately, I had no time reading, but I'm looking forward to it. So at the moment, I'm not able to write a comment, but I hope I can do it soon. take your time. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's over 100,000 words between the two books. There's a lot. There's a lot. I want people to enjoy it more than anything else. Like I said, that's how we found you and how we'll find others. I just wanted to explain something for some people who don't know, or some people who are like YouTube fans, because I am, and I never think about it. Because I write gay romance, even though, as those of you who've read my work, it's not porn. We all know this. There's like one sex scene per book. It's just not. But everybody else outside of those in the know thinks it is, because gay romance equals porn in their eyes, no matter what it is. Everything from credit card companies to Amazon to everything. So advertising for us is an extremely difficult endeavor. And even when we're able to advertise, it's hard to access those people interested in gay romance, because somewhat understandably and somewhat not, um, places like Facebook don't allow you to, for example, use the word gay as a modifier. So if you liked romance, gay romance, they would not let me find if you had gay romance in your interest, though really many people don't. We couldn't find you because that word is excluded, because they don't want people discriminating against gay people, which, yes, we don't want that. But at the same time, we do let us differentiate between men and women and age groups. So it seems a little silly. Um, Especially when you're not trying to discriminate but reach people with those interests. So anyway, it's a constant problem. Like, we can't even monetize our YouTube channel. We're even scared to have a join button because we don't want them to cut us off, because we are definitely would be considered adult content in their eyes, even though it's really not. I mean, it's no different than a Harlequin romance that anybody of any age can purchase. So, we really depend on non-traditional means of gaining members. And that includes like books. So if I write a book and you really enjoy it, we hope that you'll come and join us as a member and support us that way. And then you'll get the books for free. I mean, to me, it's more important if you're a member, because I want you there for the long haul. And I'll give you as much as I can free stuff on top of that. Um, but yeah, we use a podcast, and we do use these live readings also as a fun way for people who can't afford things right now, because God knows, yeah, a lot of people can't afford things. We want to make sure as many people can have fun as possible, but also as a way, obviously, of bringing people in. And saying to them, like, oh, if you're interested in this, listen to the free stuff, and maybe if you have some cash at some point, please sign up. So that's why we do a lot of this stuff. That's why the reviews are really important, because we're really just looking to grow the membership. So let's see here. Alex says, I read the first 15 or so chapters of the Earl King and instead switched to the Fell. And your evolution author read is tremendous. The pacing, plan, development are so much better. Yeah, 10 years will do that. God knows. Those were the first ones that I did. Pam says, your work is art. Thank you. I really, I had basically, I'll, I'll tell you a little anecdote. So Chase Bank has been trying again and again and again to be my credit card provider. We've got Stripe now, and that's a whole other story, which is great. But I kept telling the guy who was selling to me, I said, you guys have turned me down as an adult services provider again and again. I said, your underwriters won't they think that there's more fraud here. We have less fraud than anyone. I mean, yes, we have some chargebacks, because but 99.9% of the time, guess what? People don't understand the recurring charge, and so they think it's unauthorized. And I told him, I'm like, they won't accept us. And he goes, yes. I gave him I said, here's a password to the site, a login. You can go check it out. He came back to me a week later, said, I went through the site. He's like, this is wonderful. This is like a great product. I don't see why we wouldn't want to be your credit card provider. I'm like, okay. He comes back to me the next day, totally sheepish, and says, you were right. The underwriter says, oh, it's gay romance. That's porn. We won't be her service provider. And he's like, I don't understand it. I told them everything that I saw. I offered them the login. And I said, I know. I said, it's crazy. So that's why we really do need your guys' support as much as we can. I hate asking for that stuff. To me, the fact that you're supporting us all, reading my stuff, coming to the live streams, that's enough. But really and truly, it helps 1,000% if you recommend to a friend, or if you put a review, or if you just, share some posts, because we can't reach a lot of people. Let's see here. Olivia says, "Yay, I didn't miss it." You didn't. We haven't started yet. Alexa says, "You got me through Facebook." Excellent. Yeah, we've been pleased with Facebook, but it's really, really tough. We are like doing things like gay adjacent, or, thinking of shows that have a gay couple and hoping, even if we're, marketing to that show, even though there's a lot of people who won't be interested in a gay romance site, but there will be some, because of the fact that a lot of the paranormal shows will have gay characters or gay couples, which is so refreshing to see. Maxwell says, "The chat and the live are out of sync for me." Yeah, I don't know why, Maxwell. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the system is not foolproof. Wicked Cat says, "Thank you for all your hard work, Raythe, and you make the story a real story where we all can see the growth from meeting to ending of the story. I love being a member, and I love having you. You've been a member for a long time, and you always have some very thoughtful comments to make, and I truly appreciate that." Alex says, "You write romance. Most gay romance authors actually write erotica. It's like 1 fuck, 2 fucks, 3 fucks." Yeah, I know. And that's fine. I mean, there's always a place for porn without plot. I just don't, because I don't find that titillating. I need the characters to really mean something to me before them having sex is hot. That's me. But other people, I get you when you just want a hot scene and everything like that. That's just not who I am. But I'm treated the same way as if I wrote the hardest of hardcore porn, to be perfectly honest. It would be easier for us to advertise on Pornhub than it is to advertise on just a normal site, on fanfiction.net, for example. Can't do that. Amber says, "Hello, it's my first live reading." Well, hello, Amber. So great to have you. Amber says, "It's interesting hearing the voice of the person that has wrote the stories you've been reading for the last 7 years." Oh my God, Amber. We were talking about members just like yourself yesterday in our Wraith Rain meetings. And I said, there are so many members who've been with me for like 10, 7, 5 years, and I've never seen them comment. I've never talked to them. And it's weird because, you are the guys who have supported me the longest and the most, and it's amazing. So it's really good to hear from you. So, oh my God, uh, drank down the wrong into the wrong way. Okay, so he says, "If I may suggest my own videos, I made fan vids some years ago for Ghost Neo Tokyo and the Fel, and all of you are free to share them if you want to advertise for our here. They're so good. Sophie's are so good. She does incredible, by the way, cosplay for Star Wars and a bunch of other things. But yes, they're excellent." Goodness, I'm so sorry. Drank down the wrong tube. Shaylina says, I'm here. Been almost 2 months since I've listened to it live, had withdrawals. Yes, it's so good to see you. Marina says, "I actually have a roomie waiting for the Christmas sale." Yes, let me tell you guys, for those of you who are not members right now and want to come later on, we have a 50% off year sale. So it's $50 for a whole year. And remember, you get everything when you do that. So all the books are included, and yeah, it's a big savings. And we love it when people sign up for a year, because I feel like then they don't have to like worry, am I reading enough this month to justify this cause? Or, oh my God, I didn't budget for this. And I always feel bad. And believe me, I've had people, I've had people come to me and say, "I really need $9.95. I just give it back to them even if they've been there. I understand. I was incredibly poor too. And it sucked when I had to make that decision between can I get a Diet Coke, or can I, do this?" Alexa says, "I'm thinking about signing friends up as a Christmas present." That's fantastic. That would be fantastic. I'm so glad. Cersei says, It got a bit screwed up in the YouTube comments. There are 2 links for my RR fan vids for Ghost New Took. Okay, feel free to share them if you want to. Please, they're awesome, they're fun. Lily said, I got a 1-month membership just to see if I would like the other stories you have. And I am in love, Raythe. I am so in love with all of your stories. I always hesitate to say this because it makes me sound like I'm a machine. But you guys know John Patterson, right? I mean, the author. He's the one that you can pretty much pick up any one of his books and you know what you're going to get. They are a certain type of book, and it's consistent and I would say satisfying because yes, of course, there are twists and turns, and of course, different characters, and of course, different plot points. But the story, the core of it is the same. The James Patterson, I should say, not John Patterson. And I really love the this one. I love One True Couple, and I love it's the Chosen One narrative. You'll be most familiar with it from like Star Wars, the original Star Wars, Luke Skywalker type character. I'm also very interested in a character who's always been on the outside, whether they've been poor or, just ostracized for being different, who finds out that they're very special. That's sort of like the thing I do all the time. So the thing is that when you pick up another one of the books, though it looks like it should be completely different, it's not. There's all those same things in. So oftentimes, if you love Dragon's Reign, for example, you're going to love Elven King's Blade. And if you love Elven King's Blade, you're going to love the Dark Earth. And if you love the Dark Earth, you're going to love the Earl King or the Fell or the Pact. Because those same things are in there, those same things that you loved, the core of what you loved. So Lily, you are not alone. I hear that all the time, and I'm so glad that you checked it out for a month to see if you liked the rest of it. Crystal says, I think it's so ridiculous how they classify your work. I love how you build the relationships between your characters. It's beautiful. Crystal, it's tiresome. And you're right. It's exactly. I think it is ridiculous and it's tiresome and it's a constant battle. It's gotten better over the 10 years. I can honestly tell you it's definitely gotten better, but it's still the same situation where we're always having to, be creative, which is, Kat, who's the VP and marketer, she's always working so hard to get more people. But yeah, that's why we have to lean on you guys a lot. And I so appreciate it. Like I said, I hate asking, but it makes a difference. Alex says, those are exactly my 2 favorite narratives. Yes. Lily says, I have some work to get done, but I hope to catch the end of the stream. Well, I'm glad you can come over for a little while. All right, it's 2:11, so I think I'm going to start. About time, right? I'm sure you're like, you're babbling, Raythe. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read chapters 29 and 30 of Empire of Stars. You can follow along on the text. Believe me, when I find typos or weirdnesses, I try to fix that. I'm going to break up the reading of each chapter into 2 to 3 parts. And you can ask questions all along while I am reading. I will not read them, obviously, until I am done with that section. You can ask about anything, about the story, about me, about Raythe, about other stories, all that kind of stuff. Anyway. All right. Hey, Nicole. You guys are like, I got here on time. Don't worry. We're just starting. And we also normally put these up on video. I'm really hoping, because Kat's not here and I don't see her, that this will work properly. We will see. Okay. Chapter 29. Moonwalk, Moon Talk. Okay, Dad. Now just goose the throttle a little bit. Yeah, you got it. Jace enthused as he stood behind his father, who sat in the pilot seat of the Storm Spike. Earth was already far behind them, and the moon was ahead, growing ever larger. His father was smiling so big and brightly that Jace was certain his face must hurt. His father was in heaven, and he couldn't blame him. It was hard not to want to take the controls back himself. At least there's nothing out here to hit, his father said with a grin. So if I make a mistake, we're okay. True. Going to stretch your wings a little? Jace grinned back. Maybe you should be strapped in if I do that, his father replied dryly. All right. You're no fun. Safety first. Without having to think about it, Jace interfaced with the ship, and another seat opened to the right and back of his father. The harness unspooled and clicked around him. Now, if you want to, whoa, go, Dad! Jace laughed as his father almost expertly had the storm spike perform a barrel roll. His father leveled the ship off, and the moon was once again front and center on the screen. He then sent them spinning the opposite way. Jace laughed. We're going to have to do some dogfighting at some point to train as well, Jace said. We could do that? In simulators, I suppose, his father asked. Actually, we'll be in real world conditions, but the weaponry we'll be using won't cause damage, Jace said as the Osiris showed him how the spaceships would only register the damage, but not actually be damaged. I'm looking forward to that. His father was doing that face splitting grin again. It's like a video game, except it's real, Jace said. Do you remember when we spent all those days playing as fighter pilots? Oh God, I forgot the name of the game. But you wouldn't go to bed, his father said. I think you were the one who wouldn't go to bed, Jace chuckled. His father had the storm spike perform 3 loops in a row before finishing with a barrel roll. God, this ship moves smooth as silk. I have no idea how fast we're going. You don't want to know. We'll be to the moon in like 15 minutes, Jace told him as he brought up those indicators for his father on the holographic display. You work this ship like she's been yours for years, his father said with a faint shake of his head. I know, right? Jace agreed with him. Everything feels familiar. I think I could close my eyes and find anything I needed in the ship without tripping and killing myself. Another shake of his head. Amazing. You were flying in your sleep all these years. So it seems, Jay says. If you want to set the autopilot, no, not yet. Let me have my hands on the controls here for a while, his father requested. Can we go down to the surface of the moon? Both of them had on synth skin suits. Jace had his hard suit's chip in his pocket, and there were several others on the storm spike that could be sized for his father. Do you mean fly over the surface like in Star Wars? Jace asked, referring to the many iconic scenes where one of the fighters skimmed over some alien world surface. I do. We could also land and get out if you like, Jace told him. His father went silent. Jace caught sight of his reflection on the screen for a moment. There was utter shock, followed by utter joy. Are you serious? We could walk on the moon? His father asked. I'm more than serious. We can do that, Jace told him. How about we go to the Tycho crater? Jace asked, naming one of the most famous moon craters that he knew of. Yeah, sounds fantastic, his father answered. Jace reached up and lightly touched the holographic control so that their destination was set. You'll see a path once we get nearer. We might want the Osiris, though, to take care of the landing, Jace told him. His father nodded. For sure. Don't worry, I'll let you try to land on the Osiris's hangar bay, Jace told him. Not worried. Going into space is deadly business, though it doesn't seem that way with you. Blowing yourself out of a hive, using your jets to maneuver to a craft? That's insane, Jace, his father said with a shake of his head. Jace had told him about what had happened in the hive as they had lifted off and passed by the Thafel fleet. Speaking of those, Jace brought up a screen to show him if any ship was following them from the fleet. There was one. He grimaced. What do they think? I'm going to fly away without the Osiris and Khoth? Not happening. They were likely there in case there was an accident. He was the pilot, after all. This should have made him happier, or perhaps less annoyed would have been a better description. But it grated. He wanted this time with his father, just the two of them. He could have had the Osiris cause the ship to return to the fleet, but he resisted the urge. They will not be harmed, the Osiris murmured speculatively. You do not need them for assistance. I am here. Yeah, but I couldn't reach you for a while in the hive, Jace pointed out. That was different. It was amazing to him how the Osiris could be so precise and then be so incredibly vague. Why he couldn't reach it, if that was intentional, or if in fact they had been blocked by cool technology, still wasn't clear to Jace. He faintly remembered the pain he felt when he'd entered the cool needle ship. A slight shiver went through him. That is damage caused by you being taken from me, the Osiris murmured. It will heal in time. Taken from you? Oh, you mean when I was a baby and you tried to cut my mom open? Jace asked dryly. The Osiris was silent. Jace looked once more at the Paladin-class ship that was keeping its distance. He wished Khoth were in it, but he knew he was not even before, like Gehenna, the Osiris sent him the name, rank, medical, and military history of the pilot. Commander Khoth Voor is with High Counselor Novavor in her quarters on the Asheton, the Osiris informed him. There was a pause, and then it asked, Do you wish to hear and see them? Jace blinked. Here and how? I have access to all vessels. The Osiris almost sounded peevish that Jace hadn't known that. Oh, so you can eavesdrop on everyone, can you? I monitor all communications, yes. The Osiris rephrased it to make it sound less like spying. You may wish to review this conversation between them. No. Why not? It concerns you, the Osiris stated. You should be aware of what the opposing faction is doing. Khoth is not an opposing faction, Jace said with surprising certainty. He'd only met with the fellow commander that day, but Khoth had consistently done what was right and honorable towards him. He trusted the Fel with his life. But High Counselor Novavor is, the Osiris stated almost softly. Jace felt a spike of apprehension. Nova was Khoth's mom, not to mention his superior. More than just a superior, but the superior of all the Alliance. She could put a lot of pressure on Khoth. But the pressure had been there when Khoth had chosen to save him rather than try to put another pilot, a person loyal to the Alliance, in his place. That would have earned Khoth accolades galore. Breaking the rules to end his sister's suffering would have been completely forgotten if he'd done that. But Khoth had chosen to save Jace. I have faith in Khoth, Jace said firmly. But if you know what is being said, it would be a breach of his trust and privacy, Osiris, Jace interrupted. He'll tell me if I need to know. You are the pilot. You should know all the data. People don't work that way, Osiris. You can know everything and make all the wrong moves, Jace told the AI. I have to trust Khoth. Until he proves he is not trustworthy? The AI countered, He won't. But I guess if, like you, he does something wrong, I'll reassess, Jace replied. Jace, anything up? Your eyes have gone all spooky there, his father asked with a glance towards him. Oh, sorry, Dad, just talking to the Osiris about trust, Jace said as he closed the holographic screen of the following ship. The Osiris. You still mad at it? His father asked. As mad as a hornet, Chase replied with a grin. His father chuckled. But you're giving it a second chance, I bet. Uh, yeah, you're right. Pretty clever there, Dad, Jace said as he stretched out his legs. His father shot him another look. I know you pretty well. Such as, I'm going to guess at what you're going to do tomorrow after the meeting. Jace lifted an eyebrow. I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Oh, yes, you do. Jace shook his head. Okay, Dad, predict the future. Easy. You're going to let everyone have their say, his father answered as he touched the holographic screen like a pro to find out the distance to their target. And everyone is going to think that they've gotten you on their side because you're easygoing and young and therefore must be pliant, if not stupid. Jace's eyebrows rose. Okay, you're suggesting I'm not pliant or stupid, which is good. You are most certainly not, because after they tell you why they're right and the other guy is wrong, and what they want and why they should have it, you're going to tell them to all go to hell, his father said with a grin. Jace blinked. Well, Because you are the goddamned pilot of that incredible ship, and you're going to do what you think is right, his father finished. Jace blinked some more. That may have crossed my mind, but Mom would be really angry with me over that, wouldn't she? I think you would do it even if I said she would be, his father answered with a purse of lips. But if it makes you feel any better, she'll be glad. She doesn't agree with all the higher ups want to do, but she's stuck in the chain of command. If she disobeys them, she's out and has no influence at all. But you don't need to do what they say. You can do what's right because you're beholden to no one. Jace stared at his father in a kind of shocked awe. Don't you think I'm a little young and inexperienced to do all this on my own? These were the types of arguments he had thought his father would make. You've got a good head on your shoulders. You will need teachers, mentors, and allies. You'll find them, his father said, but you must never let their thinking replace your own. You were the pilot for the reason, not me, not your mom, not anybody else, Jace. You. I thought you'd be all freaked out, want to keep me safe and stuff, Jace said after a moment. His throat felt tight with pride at his father's belief in him. Oh, I am, son. I am. His father gave a slightly shaky laugh. But, and here he glanced over at Jace more fully, I look at you, and I feel like I'm seeing you as you always should have been. I can't explain it. You handled your limitations with a kind of grace I could not. You're handling these powers with that same grace. Jace's head lowered and he blinked rapidly. Dad, I don't know what to say. Listen, think, learn, then do what's right, Jace, his father said. That's all you can do. Jace thought about the cool and what he had seen up here. Now there was just the beautiful blackness of space punctured through the light of far stars. There were no hives nearby, no sign of the cool at all. That was a relief. But he knew it wouldn't stay that way, which meant he had to convince Nova Vor that she should keep some ships around Earth if he and the Osiris were to leave it. He doubted that simply being protected would satisfy General Antoshkin, and he couldn't blame the military man. This was Earth's chance to jump ahead technologically and join the other species. All right, let's take a little break there. I need another drink. I want to see what you guys are saying. All right, I'm scrolling back up. Wow, there were a lot of them. Hold on. Okay. So Crystal says, it is no problem. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much, Crystal. That just means sending the word. Nicole says, I got here on time. Yay. Deltos Matt says, hey, Raythe, been missing this. Me too. It's been a long time. Although, truthfully, I needed those days anyway to work on Cinders and Ashes. Genuine Amethyst says, I love this stereo laugh out loud. Yeah, it's totally, it's like my idea of Mass Effect and Star Wars mashed together, as well as Star Trek. Jody says, hello, I made it. So glad you're here. Genuine Amethyst says, I love his dad. I do too. God, I wish my dad was like him. I sort of I mixed him in like as an older, like Maverick / MacGyver type guy. That's how I picture Jace's dad, like really cool and really like, trusting of people, giving them, basically the space to learn as well as teaching them. Alexa says, replying to Amber Yazzie, check out the facts on the website to help with that. I was able to change my picture, so names seemed like it would be possible. If Amber, if you're having problems changing your name in the background, email Jeremy, but I'm not quite sure if the fact will do this, if it has it in there about specifically name changes. So go to tech support@wraithrain.com. Wicked Cat says, two men acting like kids. This is so normal. Most men I've known. Yeah, this would be, I could totally see, like, not my dad, but the other people's dads, like, doing this with their sons. I thought this was, like, perfect. Sophie says, I want to fly a spaceship too and go to the moon. I so do as well. I am telling you. I get sort of, I have mixed feelings of our supervillain Elon Musk, but I do love the fact that he is making that seem more and more possible for us with, focusing on space again. Genuine Amethyst says, "It's all the males I know in my family." Excellent. Helen says, "I am late, but I'm here." I'm so glad you're here, Helen. Alex says, according to NASA, we'll be back on the moon by 2024 and Mars 11 years after that. It's a fascinating time to be alive. It really is. It really is. Um, really is. It makes me though sad that I mean I didn't ever had the science cred to be an astronaut, let alone the physicality to do it. But it makes me sad that I don't know. By the time there's true commercial spacecraft that's within the realm of normal people to purchase, I probably won't be alive. Helen says, "Wait, there are aliens for us, but are we aliens for them?" Oh yeah, we're aliens for them too. We are. Genuine Amethyst says, "Hi, only 33 minutes?" I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know. Joe says, "Can't wait to listen later. Been waiting for this. I'm so glad." Helen says, "Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I feel like I missed something here." Abigail says, "I'm finally here." Hello, Abigail. Helen buffering virtual hug. um, Genuine Amethyst says, that's the sound I'm making. Is that normal?" Totally normal. Absolutely normal. Sheila says, "Totally listen as I do errands and Lowe's at the moment." Oh, awesome. They're listening. Melly says, "Oh goodness." Helen says, they're talking to one another, so I won't repeat that. Shalina says, "The wonders of Bluetooth." That is really, yeah, it is amazing, right? Genuine Amethyst says, "I love Raythe Rain." Thank you. Oh, we're losing Claude. He goes, "I'm sorry. I'll listen to the replay when my provider has a connection fixed. I hear practically nothing. Keep on the good work. I love your stories so much. Lots of kisses." Oh, thanks, Claude. I'm sorry that it wasn't working. Um, please do tell them to go to hell. I'm not I'm not sure. I'm totally like missing what this is. I'm missing the context here. Genuine Amethyst says, "I just love her male voices. I try." I love Wraith too, says Helen. Oh God, I feel the love now. Amber says, "I've gotten to love listening to you reading while I do my diamond painting." Awesome. I remember you were talking about that. It's so cool. Abigail says, "Me too, our male voices are soothing in a way." I try to do them in a certain like, I don't know, how I think about how they would sound like, obviously not the deep voices of normal male characters, but more like the cadence and the rhythm. Um, let's see. Uh, Chained Angel Wings says, "This update lifted my mood so much after a terrible morning. Also, Khoth is going to have some explaining to do once Jace finds out about the cat convo." Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Olivia says, "Yes." Helen says, "Wait, are they ask?" I feel like I don't know what's going on there. Crystal says, "I love this time between Jace and his dad. He needs this kind of support, and his mom is alive, so he has that too." I know. For those of you who don't know, I often kill off mothers and fathers. Helen says, "Hello, people. We come in peace and with a lot of gay romance, and here we are today for our monthly reading with Wraith and the beautiful community we have built." We definitely do come in peace. Oh my God. All right, let me just take another drink here and fill up my stuff. Get your snacks ready. And Helen adds, "Also, please come with snacks and make yourself comfortable because it will be wonderful. I have fries, spring rolls with fried noodles, and a cookie as a dessert with juice. A weird combination, I know. Hey, whatever floats your boat." I ate a club sandwich and had some crepes. It was like really weird. I like wanted salty and sweet, and I ate way too much, but it was so good. Okay, my darlings, we are going back to chapter 29, the second part. Feel free to keep your, leave your comments and stuff in the chat, and I'll go back to it as soon as I'm finished. What do you want to talk about, Dad? What do you want to know? I've told you about what happened at the hive and stuff, but I know, I know you have other questions. Jace asked, putting his own thoughts and worries to the side. Too many, really. His father let out a soft laugh. His eyes cut over to Jace and then back over to the screen where the moon spun white and lovely in the darkness. I keep looking at you. I can't quite believe what I'm seeing, even though, like I said, my mind tells me this is how you were always supposed to be. Jace ran a hand down the front of his synth skin suit. He could feel his hard muscles underneath, but like the ship, the body felt right too. He did want to check out his junk when he got a chance. He wanted to take a shower and then pleasure himself to see if that felt different. It's sort of the same for me too. It feels familiar, just like the storm spike. I'm not tripping over my 2 feet or walking into things because I think I should be smaller. Okay, I did that once, but it just fits, Jace told him, wanting to assure his father that his new body was the least thing he should be concerned with. His father grunted and rocked slightly in his seat. I should be glad that you're so comfortable. You were transformed, though. You didn't see what the cool did to Mrs. Lowe and the other people from town. What happened to me was like what happened to Captain America, Jace said, his lips flattening slightly. What happened to them? That was something to fear. His father nodded. I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm not. Jace scrubbed his right hand through his hair because it clarifies the danger for me. Which was what Khoth wanted it to do. His father's tone was dry. I know you like him, and I think he's got some good aspects, but, well, he's a Thafel. You don't like the Thafel? Jace's eyebrow rose. You and Thama seem pretty tight. I like Thama very much, but surely you've guessed that she wasn't sent to Earth because she's the perfect specimen of her species, haven't you? His father cracked a grin, likely thinking about some trouble that Thama had gotten into. Jace reached into one of the grocery bags with the snacks that he and Koth had been eating. He plucked out a cheese stick, unwrapped it, and started to rip off strings of mozzarella. He offered his father something, but his father shook his head. Yeah, I sort of got that Thama is a little eccentric, but Koth isn't exactly the perfect Thafel soldier. He got in trouble for breaking a really big rule of the Thafel, Jace said, and explained what Koth had done for his sister. And he was punished for that? This is why I do not understand the Thafel. Even under their alleged goal of the whole over the one, that doesn't make sense. His father's forehead was furrowed. It seems to me that he did what was best for the Alliance. If they'd gotten the information that Desa had, they'd be in a world of hurt. Jace agreed. He thought again of what was going on between Khoth and his mother. Was she berating him for failing with Jace as he had with Desa? I am recording the interview, the Osiris informed him. It will be accessible to you at any time. I'm not going to, just in case. It is being recorded. You will have access to it, the Osiris said and went silent. His father's eyes cut to him again. The moon was getting larger before them. Soon they would get a chance to land and walk outside on the moon's surface. Jace's heart did a little pitter-pat as he realized that he and his dad were making history. And if I can convince Nova Vor that Earth should be let into the Alliance, then going to the moon or to distant planets will become open to everyone on Earth, Jace realized. Just think of the good people could do. And the bad. He had to admit that. But he couldn't help but think of those who loved Star Trek, Star Wars, The Expanse, and so many more who would be living their dream. It had happened to him. It would happen to them. If Nova Vor wouldn't do it, then he could do it himself with the Osiris. They had maps of other Altaith, caches of ships, and more. He could bring humanity to the stars himself. Looks like we're about to near to landing, his father said, his voice filling with awe. Jace hadn't realized that they were so close to the moon. They were gliding through the atmosphere. Soon they saw the grayishly chalky white terrain of the of the moon before them. Oops. The Tycho crater is pretty young as craters go, his father told him. Really? Yeah, and is of great scientific interest because it's helping scientists understand how an impact crater forms, his father continued enthusiastically. The Osiris was already feeding him the exact information how such a crater formed, but Jay said nothing. Yet even with him being silent, his father said, But I bet the Thafel and the Altaith already know that. He patted his father's shoulder. There's a lot that no one has figured out yet. Just think when we get to share all of this information with scientists all around Earth. Imagine what they can find out. His father nodded. It'll change everything, Jace. Yeah, and it'll be awesome, Jace said. The Osiris is going to take over the piloting for now. His father nodded again and removed his hands from the controls. The storm spike flew over the crater, then glided into a U-turn before it landed. There was a soft thump and clunk as they touched down. Jace retracted his harness before going over to a compartment further down the ship, where both their hard suits were being stored. He showed his father how to get into a suit and watched as it completely sealed around his dad's body before doing the same for himself. The HUD showed him that both suits were secure and that, though his father's heart rate was up, both were fine to leave the ship. Are you ready for this, Dad? Jace asked. More than. His father's voice was filled with excitement and sounded a little breathy. Jace touched the sensor pad that opened the gangway for the ship. It was strangely silent as it lowered to the gray, soft ground. Jace immediately felt the reduced gravity and couldn't help himself. One small step! He launched himself out of the door, and his jump had him landing a considerable distance from the ship. He heard his father's laughter, only to turn and see his father do the same thing. His father landed near him. Jace slowly turned around in a circle. In a way, it was exactly what he would have expected. Endless grayness cut by the black of the sky. His feet left footmarks in the dust, and he felt a little guilty for disturbing ground that hadn't been disturbed in who knew how long. He wondered if the moon would be used for anything, considering a gate was so near. When there were so many places to go with an atmosphere that humans could breathe, not to mention highly advanced civilizations to learn from, it would seem a waste to have a moon base. His father touched his shoulder and said, Look. He was pointing towards Earth. It was beautiful, blue and white and glowing. But Jace wondered what Hassian looked like. He was more anxious to see other planets than return to the one that birthed him right now. Good God. It's hard to believe this is real, his father murmured. It's crazy, Jace agreed. We're really on the moon, and it was so easy. Yeah, all this time we've been working with the Thafel, and we were only given crumbs. His father sounded a little bitter. Thama was the only one who would allow us even inside one of their craft. Was it because of some prime directive or something? Like, did they think we were too primitive? Jace asked, trying to keep the bitterness out of his own voice. Maybe. But I have the distinct impression that it's something else. His father's handsome face was set into a grim look. If Nova Vor doesn't jump to give us ships to protect Earth tomorrow, then... Then what? From what I understand, and this is just from hearsay, mind you, all of the ships are from the Precursors, his father explained. Meaning that they aren't making these ships, they're finding them? Jace guessed. I don't even know what their level of repairing them is. They've had decades to repair the Osiris, and they couldn't do it, his father pointed out. So any ships they lose, they can't replace? They can't rebuild them? They can't fully repair them? Jace realized. So unless they find new ones, they've got an ever-shrinking amount of tech to use against the cool, his father filled in. Now, mind you, they have their own tech, but only precursor weapons and ships are of any real use. We put together some weaponry that works, but not as well as the original. The Osiris can replicate weapons, armor, and who knows what else, Jace murmured. That's right, his father said, and Jace understood his grim expression. They're going to fight us tooth and nail to get the Osiris, Jace filled in. They're desperate for what it can do. I think so. His father contemplated Earth. Which is why you have your work cut out for you tomorrow. The stakes are much higher than the Alliance is letting on. Just keep that in your noggin. Jace nodded. He saw to his dismay that the Osiris had put an icon on his HUD of the recorded conversation between Khoth and his mother. He quickly moved his gaze to the Earth, rotating above them like a jewel. But he didn't delete the file. Okay, that's the end of 29. Some interesting things there that I have to go back and fix. Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy. Okay. Let's see what I've missed here in chat. Stretching out a bit. All right, going back up here. Okay, so Genuine Amethyst says, I know I kill off the moms and dads in my books too. Us and Disney, we're in good company. Chained Angel Wing says, I have some scrambled eggs, a banana, and an orange to munch on while listening. See, I love it that I am not alone in being like the weirdo with food. But I just figure I'm an adult. I can eat what I want. I don't have to have the things going on. Rainbow says, I'm jealous. Genuine Amethyst says, I love my mom's cake. Um, Genuine Amethyst says, it would be great to eat well while reading this. Yeah. People are like, you're making me hungry. Tara says she made it. Excellent. We have a whole nother chapter to go. Space says, yes, we need Miss Thea to do some killer art of some space penis, preferably also with Jace penis. Am I right, Deltos? She actually can't. Thea can't. Thea works for another company as well as in gaming. You would know if I could tell you, but I don't want to tell you because I gotta keep her privacy. But that's one of the deals that she's agreed not to do the naked, sexy stuff anymore, which bums the hell out of me. But it's all right. I get it. We'll look for other people to commission. EJ Rose says, hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. We hope you will too. Olivia says, oh man, the snacks. I know. Jay says, so like, that's one thing I really envy about Jace is that he gets to eat as many of the bad snacks as he wants. I can't do that, but I still do that. Helen says, Abigail, sorry, I want to help, but I can't send food. I know. So Deltos Matt says, okay, Raythe, you got to do something about checking the junk. No man on earth would not check his junk. It's a guy thing, natural and non-sexual. It's confirmation that everything available and present. Functionality is another conversation. I know. He didn't even do it in the shower because I had so much stuff going on with this. Genuine Amethyst says, take out their food. Aniko says, so glad to make it. Sorry I'm late. We're so glad to see you, my friend. Amber to Alec. Yes, I second this too. I know we need some sexy fan art, I think. We do. Sheila says, I'm not even working and my curse of getting phone calls during podcasts is taking effect. But that's what happens when I finally get promotion and the new employee by yourself and just so many questions. Well, congratulations on the promotion. And yes, I just yesterday I'm finally on vacation for the day job. I was supposed to be playing Cyberpunk 2077. Damn you, CD Projekt Red. But that was delayed, as many of you know. So I'm playing Wasteland 3 and writing. But I actually got a call from the day job and I was like, come on. But it was important. Aniko says, yay for Jason dad time. I agree. Crystal says, I am so jealous. Walking on the moon, that would be so great. I know. I wanted to give the sense of like how easy it would be. Because, now when we go to the moon, it's like a deadly endeavor. I mean, something terrible could go wrong. But imagine having spaceships that make it as safe as like going to your local supermarket. Delta's Matt behind Alec. Yeah, dude, not before Jace knows. Genuine Amethyst. I'm writing an alien story too. It's called The World of Weird. Cool. We need more sci-fi stories out there always. Jody says, listening to this while going to mailbox and dodging pine needles. Those things are like spears. So you're barefoot. Oh man. Or around along the sides. I don't know. Abigail says, it's only we could send physical food through messages or emails. I'm ready for that transporter trick. Oh yeah, wait. And there's like little like food emojis, but it's not real. Amber says, can you imagine how beautiful the earth looks like at the perspective from the moon? Yeah, I've also obviously only seen pictures, but it's so cool. Alex says, pretty sure Jace can breathe on some planets with other hemispheres, maybe Mars or Venus. Yeah, he likely can. I haven't sort of like obviously nailed down everything he can do. I don't want it to be like Deus Ex Machina, but I think that he's been really transformed far more than he knows yet. So we will see what happens in other situations. Sheila says, I'm sad I couldn't participate in the last podcast conversation of spiders. The alien I have an idea for is a spider and scorpion combined. Oh, Lord. Imagine if those were on your crew. And then you'd have to get like used to not showing your horror and fear while they're talking to you. Oh, it would just be difficult. Or when they're coming towards you and you're like trying not to scream. Like Sophie says, no more spiders. I thought my spiders and, cinders and ashes were most excellent. It scared me. Wicker Cat says, a teacher of mine once said that everyone has something food-wise that is odd. I think that's true. Sophie says, why can't it be rabbits? Rabbits are adorable. Yeah, we could have space rabbits. That would be so cute. I don't know. In Wasteland, you're allowed to have like pets that like help like attack things for you. And I just lost my tomcat named Major Tom. And I'm like totally mourning that right now. So I just like when I think of cute like alien sidekicks and then I think of them being killed. It's terrible. Tara says, nothing weird about loving good food. That's true. Senchia says, hi, I love this book, but need to go back to chapter 19 to catch up. Just popped in to say hi and stay safe from the UK. You too. Oh, you too. I'm so glad you're here. Just for a moment, if nothing else. Alexa says, if we have an artist recommendation, can we send those? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. If you have one. Especially if they are not flaky. I have had the worst experience with artists being incredibly flaky, which is why when I find someone who's good, I'm so loyal to them. Like T Wolf and obviously Mathia have been with me for over 10 years. Shaylina says, I love the relationship between Jace and his parents. Yes. I wanted it to be good. I didn't want it to be like lame. And people and members said they wanted it to be good. They wanted it to be different. Amber says, I would love to draw the naked sexy. If you can draw it, we will post it. I got some really cute Cinders and Ashes fan art in that we're gonna post in the next whatchamacallit, newsletter. Alec has basically had a lot of stuff, some beautiful Evil Kings fan art commissioned, which is great. We share everything. Whatever it is, we do share it. So if it's fan art, if it's fanfic, all we ask is that you credit me and Raythe, so people see it and are interested in the original material, and they come to us. Carolyn says, chicken and rice with leeks and salsa verde. Yum. Sorry, feeling lazy before turkey day. Oh, that sounds delicious. Helen says, genuine amethyst. Hey, take your time. Tara says, no spiders. You already plunked them into cinders. Yes, I did. I have a great. I think the bugs in this are far more horrifying. And I definitely am doing like it's not completely like the face huggers from like Aliens, but I think that really just, oh God. Anyway. And by the way, these bugs were something that I dreamed up for my headcanon of some Star Wars fanfic in my head. Alex says, deal, I've got someone to commission in mind. By the way, I remember you had sexual art with the Abyss and nude art for Every Stories. I've been meaning to commission more. Yeah, we did. Mathia went to school. I mean, this is really cool for people to know, just to know what you're supporting. Because of the fact that I could actually pay Mathia to monthly, and obviously she's very, very talented and was able to get in a lot more work, but that constant salary allowed her to go back to school. She went back to school for game design, and now she is working in a gaming company. But before that, she was working at the gaming company, she could do all the sexy stuff. But now that she is there, we had to make a little bit of a compromise, and I would rather have a compromise than lose her. I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me. All right, let's see here. Abigail says, if they were traffic in space, wouldn't it be called a space jam? That's a terrible, terrible joke. Aniko says, ooh, I hope that SpaceX gets the commercial space flights on a regular basis so that laymen can go. I do too. That would be my goal. But I've got so much health stuff. I'm sure they'd say you can't go. Wicked Cat said, second space bunnies. Oh my God. Now I've got to have some kind of like furry space bunny in this. And then like Jace will be tempted to like pet it. And like petting it is like going to be something like either bad or setting up a like a sexual thing if you pet them. It's going to be great. Sanchia says spiders that would talk with their legs by rubbing them together. Total freak out. Oh, I know. That would be like, oh, Jesus. Hannah says, I wanted a friendly spider, like a tarantula, not the scary ones like CNA that are the size of pigs and then go after you. Yeah. Oh, Cat is here. Kitty Troller replying to Hannah. Are tarantulas friendly? I've heard that some of them are sort of soft, but I would like be screaming and I couldn't deal with it. Hannah says, I think so. They don't bite us and are soft to the touch. Oh God, still can't do it. Still can't do it. Cat's responding to Amber about art. Yeah, we'll show it off. We will. Shows at Scoo. I cannot wait for the alien crew blog. I have an engineer and a supply officer to submit to the resumes of. Yes, I'm going to be putting that up later on this month. So we can do this. And Genuine Amethyst is like, why bugs? Because they are scary and they're interesting. And I think I've been way too influenced by aliens. That is like those Alien and Aliens are just the most incredible science fiction horror films ever. Genuine Amethyst says, let's do the killer dog or something. We could do that. Sophie says, it's true that the bugs in EOS are actually far, far more scary than any spiders. They are. They're terrifying. Amber says, anything pales in comparison to the horror and disturbing nature of the cool. I know, right? Right? It's a combination of aliens and my own thoughts from this other thing I was thinking of. Alex says, we'll recommend an excellent artist to you. Thank you. Hannah says, why space bunnies? They have no natural defense mechanisms. Oh, God, except for the armor that I'll put on the space bunnies. Abigail says, one of my friends hates spiders, and she once jumped on me when she saw one, and we both tumbled to the ground. Ouch. Shaylina says, going to be doing so much baking for Thanksgiving, including 5 pies from scratch. Remember, those of you who cook or bake, please send us your recipes. We do, if you're willing to share them with everybody, because I love to cook and bake. And so does Kat. Kat's a big baker. And I know other people in the membership are too. So if you share your recipes with us, we're going to put them in the newsletter. Melody says, I agree. EOS creatures are way scarier than the spiders from Scissors and Ashes. Yes, 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 yes. I really find that science fiction is ripe for horror. I mean, true horror. I think that it really does. Shaylina says, not unless it is from Mighty Python, then Fear the Bunny. Oh, do bunnies have some kind of like resistance to pythons? No, that can't be true. I don't know. You guys are being so silly, but I love it. All right, let me take a drink. Let me get on to 40. All right, I mean 30, chapter 30. Sorry, guys. We're not even there. Yeah, okay. That just shows where I am. Okay, drink. And then we will be on to 40, man. I did it again. 30. Jesus. And I'm not drinking Diet Coke today. I mean, I have, but I am actually drinking Spindrift. And this one is half tea and half lemonade. No, half lemon. They don't have any sugar in any of them, which is good for me. I love sugar. I love sugar. All right. Okay. Chapter 30. Depths. Khoth sat in the chair in his mother's quarters for long, silent moments. His mind was blank. In terms of whether or not to do as his mother had asked of him, he had realized from his first visceral negative reaction that he would not do this thing. He would not trick Jace to help the Alliance by pretending to love the young man, and he would not use that love to manipulate Jace for the Alliance's benefit afterwards. He was not adverse to the idea of using his body so much as hurting Jace's heart. Not only was it offensive to him on a deep moral level, his Z was practically trying to flee his body at the thought, but his Za also rejected it, for Khoth knew It would not work. The reasons were numerous, from his own inability to lie convincingly to Jace's intelligence. Jace would recognize the falseness of it all and reject him. That was even assuming Jace could come to have romantic feelings for him, and that was uncertain at best. They were friendly. They were whatever they were was in a nascent was in the nascent stages. Jace was a human, and he didn't presume to understand all their ways, certainly not their ways of courtship. But his mother had made this a command. If he disobeyed it, he would very likely be exiled from the Alliance. Just at the moment when he could do the most good, he was being asked to destroy that opportunity. He needed someone not in the military that he could talk to and who knew his mother best. There was only one person who would fit this description, and he had wanted to speak to his father earlier as well. Khoth used the comm unit built into his mother's death to contact his father. His father answered his call immediately. There was a slight widening of his eyes, seeing it was Khoth and not his mother in the call. Khoth, it is good to see you. I was not expecting your call, his father said, though of course it is welcome. So, she did not tell him of her plan to order me to seduce Jace, Khoth thought. Maybe she only thought of it after watching Jace and I together. I am not certain it will be welcome when I tell you why it is I am calling, Khoth stated. His father sat back slightly in his chair. He was wearing saffron robes that he only put on when his workday was over and he was relaxing. This was good because Khoth needed to speak to him now. He could not delay. My Z is filled with foreboding. Are you ill? Has something happened? His father asked. Since his father was in the privacy of their home and Khoth was in the privacy of his mother's quarters, the distance that they normally practiced was diminished. This was good. He needed his father to feel how what his mother had asked him to do was wrong, even if he could not logically get there at first. I am not ill. I am very well. In fact, Koth paused here and realized if not for his mother's order, he was happy. In fact, I have not felt so hopeful as now. His father gave him a gentle blink. I am glad. Can you tell me what has changed things so radically since the hearing? Had the hearing been just that morning? It seemed a lifetime ago. I have met a human named Jace Parker, Koth stated, and he explained everything, from meeting Jace to the successful destruction of the hive, and even the time after with the junk food. His father did not interrupt. That was not his way. He would wait until the end and then ask questions for clarifying purposes. It was his justiciar training, yet it was satisfying to tell his entire tale without interruptions. When he had finished, his father murmured, That is quite the remarkable set of events. Jace Parker appears quite unlike the description of humans we have had. Jace is unusual among humans, but Kaw thought of Jace's parents and the other humans he had met. In truth, I believe we have been fed an oversimplified description of them, with an emphasis on their bad qualities, so that they gain no sympathy among the Alliance species. Humanity wishes to join the Alliance. They have been denied. No one has taken their side at this point because they are portrayed so poorly? His father slowly nodded. That would be a tactic I could see being used. His father's blue on blue eyes narrow as he refocused on Koth. But I do not see you contacting me about this injustice, if it is so. Not so urgently, I mean. I would not. Mother has commanded me to seduce Jace Parker in order to stop humanity using him and the Osiris as bargaining chips. She wants Jace's loyalty to lay with me and hence the alliance. Koth explained this in as cool a manner as he could, without using any of the anger he felt that you would ask him to do this deeply dishonorable thing. Drink. Hold on. His father's reaction was not one of hysterics either. His father controlled his Z and Za with a precision that Koth admired, even though he was what Jace would have described as warmer compared to his mother. But in this his father went very still, and his expression went rigid. It was a reaction that Koth knew only occurred when he was thinking of injustice. Are you querying me if you should do this or not? His father asked. No. I am already determined that I will not do this, Koth answered. It is, to put it simply, wrong. And even if I could get past the moral implication of manipulating Jace Parker, I do not believe it could be done. Do you believe he has feelings for you? Humans are ruled by their Z. His father said the last like a mantra, then grimaced. But you have said he is not like that. Koth thought of the hug in the kitchen. He thought of how Jace had clearly panicked at the thought of Koth leaving him and being sent back to Hassian. He thought of Jace's smile. The first two things simply showed that after several traumatic events, Jace did not want to lose someone who had shared that loss and terror with him. The third, Jace's smile, Koth realized that was how he felt about Jace, and not the other way around. I believe Jace has suffered trauma. I have been there for it. I believe he values loyalty. I gave it to him, and he gave it to me back. Could there be more? Koth found himself reflecting back on how Jace laughed, how he licked cheese from his fingers, how he watched Koth avidly to see if he liked something or not, how he wanted to know everything about Koth. He swallowed and said, I do not know. While I am certain that the image of humanity we have been told is incorrect, I do not know them well enough to understand their courtship rituals. And that was true. He did not know if Jace cared for him more than he did Gehenna or Thama. He didn't know if it was possible for Jace's Z and his to merge. He realized, though, that he was feeling more interest in Jace than he had in anyone, really, ever. I see, his father said quietly. Are you asking me what will happen to you if you disobey a direct order from the High Counselor Vor? No, I already am aware that exile is the only option here, Khoth answered. Especially after my recent past actions. Mother could not spare me without showing clear favoritism and damaging her credibility. So what are you asking, Khoth? Are you merely informing me of what you intend to do? His father's fingers now tangled together on his lap. There was a bleakness in his eyes that had not been there when they had begun their conversation. He fully expected Koth to be exiled and to never see him again. I know that you do not speak to Mother about her decisions as High Counselor, Koth began. I do not, Koth. If she comes to me for counsel, I will give it, full and unvarnished. But if she does not seek my input, I do not give it, his father quickly said. The people of the Alliance have elected her, not me, to lead them. Koth had known he would say this. You must break your rule this time. His father's unhappiness deepened. You know I am not refusing to do this because I do not. You are my son, my child. She is wrong, not just wrong. Koth put his hands on the desk and splayed out his fingers. How to explain to his father what were but half-formed thoughts and hunches? I believe she is acting from her Z and not her Za. His father took in a sharp breath, but said nothing. My proof of this is mostly unsubstantiated, but I believe I am right. Koth lifted his eyes from the table and said, She has limited interactions with humans. She does not know Jace Parker. Yet, instead of getting to know him in particular, to even hear what they have to say, suggests an ill-thought-out seduction plan instead. Would you agree, though, that humans will ask for a place within the Alliance? His father put forward. Is she wrong in that? No. I think they will ask for that and more, Koth answered. It would be illogical for them to accept less. With the destruction of the hive, the Cool will return to seek revenge upon Earth, who has no defenses capable of destroying them all. Who has, yeah. Anyway, and assimilating the entire planet at the end of their species. So either the Osiris remains on Earth, or we send ships to protect them. Yes, indeed, his father agreed with an inclination of his head. As to humanity wishing a place in the Alliance, in the past, we have welcomed all species with a connection to the Altaith, Koth reminded him. Jace's role as pilot proves that humanity has as close, perhaps even closer, a connection to them than most other species already in the Alliance, including, and this was hard to say, but logic demanded he say it. The Thafel. His father's slightly widening eyes told him that he had made a surprising point. We have demanded nothing more from species willing to enter the Alliance than this, so humanity should be included for this simple fact if we are not being hypocritical, Khoth pointed out. His father slowly nodded. That has been our practice. But humanity has yet more to offer. The Osiris is a unique ship. It has capabilities to construct new weapons, armor, medicine, and potentially far more, Khoth said. He suspected that the Osiris could manufacture ships, but he did not know this for certain. It can create altaid technology? His father's voice was almost breathless, which showed how awe-inspiring the Osiris was. Khoth nodded. We have no idea yet what the Osiris is truly capable of, or for that matter, what the other AI, Gehenna, can do. She is quite the mystery as well. And both she and the Osiris are connected to Jace, are controlled by Jace if he so chooses to exercise that control. I can see why your mother wishes such technology on the side of the Alliance, his father stated. But that's just it. She can have it. Give humanity a seat at the table. Humanity is part of the Alliance. They have a vested interest in feeding the cool and making the Alliance safer for everyone. I know Jace feels this way. We have Jace and Osiris at our command, Khoth stated. That would be logical, his father said carefully, and his fingers tightened around one another. Khoth saw that his arguments were working, so he pressed on what he considered irrefutable proof of the logic of his mother's actions. But instead of bargaining with humanity on those terms, Mother commands me to not just seduce Jace, but somehow make him so besotted that he would betray his people, his parents, and his friends, and also sabotage humanity's chances to join the greater universe. For me, a person he just met? She saw you together. Perhaps she saw a chance. But Koth obliterated that argument. Even if humans were as base as they would have been described, or I was his soulmate, such a plan would fail. But they are not. Jace is not anything like that. No matter how he no matter how he feels for me, he would never trade all that away. No matter what her prejudices against humans, Mother is not so blind, even in this. Unless she was desperate and grasping at the flimsiest of chances, chances that could blow back upon us, because Jace would see my seduction as a betrayal, Father. While it might not end things with humanity in the Alliance, it would cool them considerably. His father did not blink. He appeared to be even controlling his breathing. This meant that his father knew something, maybe a lot of things. He thought of Dace's journal. She had written of her frustration with the Alliance's decision to shrink in on itself. His mother had spoken about a lack of ships that could be spared, while Khoth had not experienced himself any deprivation in terms of ships, weaponry, and armor. That did not mean that there weren't any. He had not heard of any large caches of altaid technology discovered recently, maybe not in a long time. Was the Alliance simply running out of ships to fight the cool with? Let's take a little break there. Need a drink. All right, what we got going on? What did I miss? Uh, wow, there's a lot of comments. Hold on, I gotta find it. Okay, wait a minute here. Okay, people are still talking about the bunnies and giving them razor sharp teeth. Thinking Monty Python and the Holy Grail, if you really think about it, remember that scene with the bunnies where they just ripped the throats out of their enemies? That was good. Space bunnies. Let's see here. Okay, Hannah says, I like the Spindrift raspberry lime. I do too. I actually, and this is crazy, but it's so hard to get like all the flavors I like. I actually order directly from Spindrift. You have to like get 5 cases to get free delivery, but I go through it like, well, like water that it is. So I get to get all my favorite flavors. It's so good. I think honestly, this tea is one of my favorites. And then it just some ones that are surprising that I really love are like the grapefruit I love. Oh, okay. So more discussions about super strong bunnies. Obviously, I need to devise a bunny character, or somebody does, and put them in the blog post. Okay, so Helen asks, I love to bake too. Where to send my recipes to? Send them to marketing@raytherain.com, or you can just send them to raytherain@gmail.com. We will take them. And we will put them in the newsletter so everyone can do it. You can send also the nudity drawings to me, a cat, or anyone, any one of us, really, and we'll get them to the right place. And it's like, Betty Kula, this is like this poor bunnies are like gonna be like, I don't know, this bunny race is gonna be hysterical. Um, I think it was a typo, Raythe. I believe you meant Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right? Yes, I do. All right. No, not the Diet Coke. I missed my Diet Coke. I've already had like a ton of it already today because I did not get a lot of sleep last night and I needed to be like perky. Someone's saying yes, all the gay. Okay, hold on a second here. Okay, so Nico says, "Oh, Bunny Kula, I was just looking at the series again yesterday. So good. That was my jam when I was little. That and scary stories to tell in the dark. My generation, all the best scary stories to read." My generation had Stephen King. No, you guys, you get some cute stuff. Poor Khoth. The chained angel wing says, "Poor Khoth, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't." Again, yeah, he never has it easy. And I think that one of the things that I really wanted to show about him was, in truth, I think he's really the purest the fell out there, because the whole idea of the many over the one and all this other kind of stuff was that you were protecting everyone. And what he did was for the protection of everyone. I mean, yes, he also did it because he loved his sister and wanted to stop her suffering and couldn't bear that, but somebody had to be brave enough to go in and, stop the school from, basically um finding out all she knew. So that was really important, especially considering what she knew about, the Osiris and all this kind of stuff. Let's see here. Helen says, "No, our sweet Koth. Jace already loves you." Yes, he does. I think I don't know if you guys have had this, situation, but in all honesty, especially with friendships, when you meet somebody and you just meet them and then suddenly you're talking to them and it's like you have known them forever and you just are like, wow, how were you not in my life before? I feel that is true between Jason Koth and Jason Thama and all of them, really. Okay, the bunny discussion continues with Hannah saying armor. They could be like Rocket Raccoon, cute until you give them a gun. Oh yes. That might be something to deal with. Yes, and I think they rip out throats with their teeth. Abigail, well, there could be switcher. Will one be the dominant? I think that they will switch. I do see them more as like, I mean, they're both dominant in some ways, but truthfully, they're real equals, those two. Genuine Amethyst says, Koth hug must be great. It was great. I could feel it. Genuine Amethyst says, I think Koth will be dominant. I think he is in a lot of situations and in the bedroom. But I also think Jace will get to do this too. But I think that it's going to be Koth first being, I guess, dominant. Helen says, Jace, give your future husband lots of kisses. He needs it. Yeah, I mean, that idea that in private he would be very passionate and romantic. That's how Koth would be towards Jace, and very loving and very thoughtful. He would be that type of partner who would know you've had a bad day and make your favorite meal when you get home without saying anything about it. Just have a drink for you ready at the door and just give you like a foot rub. Like they wouldn't like, and then just ask you to talk about your day, that because they would know who you are and want to do something good for you. Helen says, yes, Dominic Khoth. Yes, we're going to have some Dominic Khoth. Olivia says, all your characters' relationships with their parents is always solid and loving and supportive, unless I kill their parents. I actually personally, although I really don't do the Mary Sue thing or anything like that, but there is like an aspect of this where I will have to say that my mother is a wonderful woman and a wonderful mother, but she had some issues. My father was very cold and distant. And so I actually was more raised by myself. And I had some older brothers. So that was good. But I mostly did this by myself. So having a character with a good relationship with his parents is a little bit of like relationship goals. I don't know. Anyway, Genuine Amethyst says, so pure. Helen says, Olivia, I agree. Okay, so Aniko says, the dads you write are the best, right? Thank you. Again, I think that the dads that I saw other people have are what I wished I had. So all you parents out there, you're awesome. And those who, it's a hard job. Anyway, Abigail says, yes, I like that about Raythe's stories. Yes. I don't know. I want all the characters who are in the stories to mean something. They have to have flaws and they have to be good and they have to be bad. You know what I mean? They can't be throwaways. I don't want throwaways. So that's really important. And how the Parkers are reacting to their son is, I think, actually accurate for who they are, because I think this is like a family of superheroes in a sense. I really see them like that. You don't produce, Jace out of nothing. You can. I mean, I can say I came out of a lot of dysfunction, but we won't say how dysfunctional I still am. But if you can imagine this idea that, you have two hyperly successful parents, and they pass that along. I think of like that movie Sky High a little bit when I think of them. Helen says lots of cuddles and comfy bed. Let's see here. Everyone's like hugs for Khoth. Sophie says, I want to know more about this merging of the Z that Khoth mentioned. Sounds like bonding for life. It is, but that's what it is for them. They're actually their Z's and become very in tune with one another. And that's another reason why they really have to control themselves, because once you do bond with somebody, your emotions and theirs are sort of like intertwined. Abigail says group hug with Khoth. Helen says Khoth and Jace sitting in a tree. Kissind. Yes, they did. Poppy says hugs. Lily says hugs for Khoth. Everyone's like hugs. Aniko says, replying to Sophie, total Vulcan mind meld stuff. Love it. Yes, very much so. Abigail says, I wonder if you could make an alien species where hugs can be contagious. I don't know if you guys have seen those like jokes on Facebook about like, like dangerous animals who think they're like, they want to hug things and God's like, no, that's not what that's for. And it's like danger hugs. So here we go. Shozetsu says logic means nothing when you threaten the establishment's power. Khoth is so beautifully naive in the best and most unfortunate way. This is, yes. I mean, truthfully, he's like that pure soul. Like he's like, well, yes, but this is logic and this is therefore how it should be. And they're like, you think we're working on logic here. We are not working on logic, despite what we've said. He's like, but that's hypocrisy. Well, yes. Chained Angel Wing says, good things we humans pack bond, because I can see the humans and non-humans who get pulled in, who love Jace, closing ranks around Khoth as Khoth and Jace's relationships deepen. Yes, I can. I mean, that is the benefit about humans. And I've said this before. There's all these dystopian like stories about how humans will treat, for example, future robots and stuff as like badly. They so will not. I mean, some will because they treat anyone badly. But the truth is we pack bond with toasters if you put googly eyes on them. I mean, there's been studies done where bomb robots for like that were had by the military, the guys would give the bomb robots names and they would not want to send them in to defuse a bomb because they were afraid they would get hurt, which was just was not the point. But that's it. Tara says, it's like those in power in the Alliance don't want it diluted by adding any more members. I can't tell if it's unique to Earth or not. No, that's a big part of it. And right now, there's just, as resources dwindle, those in the inner group are even more tight-fisted, while those in the outer group are, left, more and more endangered and afraid that if more people get in, that they'll be even less protected. Of course, the logical thing is, well, the Osiris has got all these capabilities and it could add to the whole, but people don't really know that. Even if they do know that, they want to still keep track of those resources. Shizitsuku, I'm going to call you Marina because I can't pronounce this. Oh, absolutely total dogpile hug of don't touch our Cosm days. Yay! Genuine Amethyst says, yes, Pack Bond. We are Raythe Rain. Everyone's like, Pack Bond unite. Marina says, are our fans all surrounding her screaming, subscribe to her site? This is lit. Is lit. Yes, it is. All right. People are like saying yes. Marina says, laugh out loud. Really kind of fond of Raythe's accidental ASMR when she drinks and stuff. I know. I'm really like, and my allergies are just killing me. And I'm by Chicago, and we've had cold, hot, and like the weather is just going crazy. I just want to say I do not have COVID, but you know what I mean. Wicked Cat asks, for some reason, I want to ask what kind of pets would be out there in space. Oh, there's got to be pets. Genuine Amethyst is like killer space dog, and Marina's like tribbles. And Helen says, "Don't you dare touch the golden couples of Khoth and Jace." Alex says, "We need space wombats." All right. Lorraine says, "I just joined. What's happening?" Well, we're going to finish up reading chapter 40, and I'm just reading comments now. That's where we're at. A lot of comments, which is fun. Aniko says, I wonder if the Osiris is recording this conversation as well, or if the Osiris doesn't like Khoth and will not give the other conversation Khoth has with his dad to Jace. Ooh, yeah, frowny face. I think it does record it, but I think Jace has to ask for it. I think. Lauren says she finished with chapter 30. No. Helen says it succinctly. Lorraine, a lot is happening. Marina says, great. Now I need to make a bunny. Question to the chat. Girl bunny or boy bunny? Yes, and Alec continues on with the wombats. Pure wombats have the cutest asses on the planet. They are 90% bum. Well. Lorraine says, I'm so freaking behind. Yes, that's okay. Hopefully, Kat will be able to get a recording of this episode that you will be able to listen to it. Crystal says, I see that Khoth's mom is in a tough spot, but her desperation is leading her to make poor decisions, and she should wait and evaluate the situation once she talks to Jace. I think she will find out what he needs isn't unreasonable, seeing what he can bring to the table. Exactly, which is why Khoth is positive that his mother is emotionally compromised, just like in the first Star Trek, the 2009 version, where it's like, when old Spock says to new Kirk, I just watched my planet be destroyed and I lost my mother. I can tell you I'm emotionally compromised, no matter how I'm acting. And I think the same is to be said for Jace's mom. I think Nova Vor, she lost her daughter. She had to exile her, partially exile her son. She is in danger of losing her position to a woman who is like a fascist. She is desperate and she is emotionally compromised. She's not thinking properly, and she also doesn't have a lot of options. She does not have the votes in order to get humanity into the Alliance, so she can't offer them that. She doesn't have the ships to give them basically she's stuck. Either she trusts somehow that Jace will do this, but Jace will do it regardless of what's going on with humanity. But we'll find out. But you could see where she's at. Lauren says I should probably drop off so it doesn't get spoiled for me. Yeah, that might be true. Alex says it's clear that Khoth's dad is just as beholden to Nova as he is. Khoth's dad is in a bad spot. He is not in the military. He is a lawyer. And yeah, I think in a way they voted for them as a couple, but she is the real leader. Melly says, "Yay, switch couple." Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Jace is the leader. He is really like Kirk, and Koth is like Spock. They're both leaders. Um, Angelica says, "It must be frustrating for the Thafel and the Alliance in general to have super strong technology at your hands but not be able to advance or even duplicate it." Yes, that is hugely problematic. Alan says, "We are all a great community, and we will unite and fight all who stand against our ships at the romance." Oh, God. Let's see here. I'm just going to. There's too many comments. I want to get to the ones where it's like, it's not replies to other people. My aunt had to show her insulin pump, and while she was eating, so she put googly eyes on it. I love it. Kitty's like, "Allergies, yes, I'm asleep at the keyboard today." Yeah, so Kat's like not far away from me, just a few blocks, and honestly, it's like killing us. All right, finally got to the end. Aniko, can't stay but love being here and having fun with everyone. See you all next time. See you next time. And Kat confirms recording will be on YouTube later, so you can catch up. Great. That's great, because I was worried that this with the system, I just don't know it very well yet, and Kat and I are learning this one, but she seems to have gotten it basically down. So this is good. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. I think I may need to change my past PayPal account because someone just tried to get in. Kat, if it's you, let me know. All right, we're going to go to chapter 40. All right. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Hold on. Last part of chapter 40, if it will change over for me. Now everything's like frozen. Just cut it out. Okay. The Osiris has maps of planets with more Altaith technology, not to mention its ability to create such tech itself. That ship and its AI are worth giving humanity every seat on the council if this is true, Khoth thought. But no one relinquishes power easily. Father, Khoth started and found his mouth dry. If his father confirmed what he feared, then the Alliance and his mother's desperation were understandable. Father, is the Alliance having difficulty finding enough tech to fight the Cool? His father's expression remained tightly controlled and that it showed nothing. If your mother were to have confided in me about such a thing, you know I could not tell you. But if it is true, then there is yet another reason to give humanity entrance to the Alliance and a seat on the Council. Koth slapped his hand on the table. His Z was practically electrified, as was his Za. Both sides of him were as one at this. Koth, calm yourself. His father made a gesture for his Z to simmer. Koth, though, was not going to calm himself. Not about this. Not when he realized that this was the fight his sister was having before she died. This was her legacy. Desa wanted to go after the Cool, father, Koth stated crisply. She thought this constant retreat was a mistake, one that the Altaith themselves recognized. Was she unable to implement her plan because we did not have the ships and weaponry and armor to accomplish it? His father remained silent. That's why she was interested in the Osiris. She had heard rumors of its ability to create new tech. Perhaps there would be clues how to create more ships. Koth theorized, feeling with every word that he was right. His father lowered his head.
If we work with humanity, we can potentially accomplish Desa's vision for victory against the Cool, Khoth stated. It was at least some of what the Alteeth believed true. We would at least push the Cool back and keep them back, unlike in the position we are in now. That is a powerful vision you have, Khoth. If humanity were to truly commit to it, they will. But it doesn't matter what I believe. We will see where they are tomorrow at the meeting, Khoth responded. So why is Mother not allowing the possibility of this into her plans? Is there any logical reason she should not negotiate in good faith with humanity? His father cleared his throat. Her leadership has been questioned recently by Counselor Ardath Erlgax. I'm well aware of her dislike of Mother, and of course, Counselor Olgax's dislike of Khoth, too. It is more than dislike, and it is more than just her, more than even the Thafel, his father said, and tiredly ran a hand across his forehead. I doubt your mother has the votes to bring humanity into the Alliance. Perhaps before, but now? Koth frowned. As you said, Koth, the depiction of humanity as brutish, immature, and led entirely by their Z is held by many, by all of the member species, and definitely everyone on the council. His father's voice was rushed as he said, There are many on the council, and in the majority species of the Alliance, who believe that we have let in too many species under the first rule you mentioned, and who will not open their minds to a new vision of humanity. So they will not allow humanity to join us. No matter what new information is provided to them, no matter that it is rank hypocrisy to deny humanity a place with us. Koth's tone was crisp. The Thafel were superior for many reasons, but the greatest of those was that they acted logically. It was only logical to negotiate with humanity and give them many of the things they were asking for. Perhaps they could negotiate that they would be considered for addition to the council in X amount of great cycles after they had proven themselves to be good members of the alliance. From what he had seen of General Antoshkin, he believed the military man would relish the chance for humanity to prove themselves. He thought that humanity might be reasonable. Later, they would press. Probably that later would be too soon for many and too long for humanity. I agree that your logic is sound, Koth, but people often mistake wants for facts all the time, his father told him sadly. They will craft whatever narrative they need to support the outcome or belief they have, and that the Fel are far from immune to this. We are, in fact, masters of it. His father's wry smile had Koth feeling like a child, for in that moment he realized that his father was right. He wanted to deny it, to fall back upon what he had been told, rather than what he had observed, which was that the Thafel did, at times, act irrationally and paper it over with faux facts. Yet he couldn't retreat from what he knew now. And strangely, it was the memory of Jace's smile that had him pushing past the denial, and really thinking about what his father had said. Is Mother one of the people who does not like humanity? He found himself asking. I do not think that is what is motivating her, his father answered. Because, as you said, even if humanity were as basic as described, how could you turn Jace completely to our side in so short a time? I could not, Koth said out loud, and inside he said, I will not. If she came to you with this command, which is one so likely to work, then it must be because she believes she has no other choice, his father said. His gaze was fixed upon Koth as if to imprint the next words upon him. If the Alliance is running out of tech, if she has no negotiating power to give humanity what it wants, yet we desperately need the Osiris and its pilot, what depths would one go to? The lengths of asking a son to whore himself, Koth thought. But Koth realized that was not the greatest depth, no matter how bitter a taste that left in his mouth. It was desperate and wrong and dishonorable. But there were worse things. She brought a fleet, Koth realized with a fresh wave of horror, not to protect Earth, but to conquer it and take the Osiris and her pilot. And there was one more thing his mind offered him. What will the Osiris do to protect itself and its pilot from such an attack? And that is the end of chapter 30. Woohoo! We made it. I need a drink. Sweet. Sweet Jeebus.
Oh yeah. Anyway, did you guys like that? I really am enjoying this stuff. More action. It was a little bit slower today. Um, this last chapter, even though it was important, obviously. Oh my goodness, more comments than I can shake a stick at. Hold on a second here. Okay. Chained Angel Wing says there's a story in the Humans Fuck Yeah fandom where alien captains are giving a manual on how to care for their new human crew members. Oh my god. Chained Angel Wings and continued includes warning about them pack bonding with anything, even big murder alien kitties with sharp fangs, and did not be weirded out when they named the cleaning bot. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's awesome. Sophie says, asking the people in chat, should we create a space for us to talk between each other outside of the comment section? Is there any interest of you with that? I think there used to be a forum on the R site ages ago. Maybe we could try something like this again. It would allow for longer conversations in various subjects. Yeah. Um, I have done this before, and it's weird. You know, we have over like 2,000 members on Raythe, and we get the same like 20, 30 commenters. Some people like Amber, she's been on the site for 7 years. I don't know how active she is in the comments. But yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything that allows you guys to talk to each other more, so long as I don't have to be the one in charge of it, because I just don't have time to do that and get you all the good stories and stuff like that. I keep thinking that I'm going to be able to leave my day job, but insurance is sort of something I need because I'm a diabetic, and that's just there you go. It's just bad, man. Just bad. All right. There was a forum on the R site ages ago, but it's such a mess. You have to set up moderators, you have to do a lot of other things. Look, Kat and I have talked about this before. If somebody wants to set up some kind of thing, that's fine. I just don't know how many people will use it, and I always feel sad about that. Because I think there's a ton of people who do love to talk, and then a ton of people who don't. And I have to find a way to help them. Alex says the fact that the Alliance is so greatly lacking in resources changes the game completely. They want people to see them as a superpower. In reality, they're more of a failed state. Yeah, I mean that's so true, Alec. That's like, they come, I set them up as being like this, uber amazing thing, and then you realize, holy shit, they're contracting. Um, Genuine Amethyst says we can use Google Hangouts, and that's awesome. That's a good idea. I'm happy. Like Sophie, if you want to be the one in charge of this, I'm happy to do something. Like leave that to you. Maybe Kat can help you, or at least prove stuff. I don't know. I'm sure she's just glorious. Like, thank you for making me the one that's doing that, Catherine. All right. Let's see. Chained Angle one says that cliffhanger. I know. Crystal says this can only end in tears. Yeah, and battle. Delta Matt says, what will the Osiris do or threaten to do? I think you know, Matt. I think you already know what it said it's going to do. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being with the reading. Melody says, seriously, she has a thing or two coming if she thinks she will wage war. Yeah, she does not know what she's up against. But this is gonna be very different. Let's see here. Genuine Amethyst says, when are you posting next? Chapter is tomorrow. There's another chapter tomorrow. Not of this. But Dragon's Train tomorrow. And then the next time we're doing the live reading is next Saturday. Abigail says Khoth's mom is desperate to get the Osiris, and I think she's going to do something she's going to really regret. Yes, she is. Oh God, yes. Pam says EOS is such a good story and so much more is coming. Love it. Thank you, sweetie. Angelica says it's interesting that both Jace and Khoth get insides in the dire situation from their fathers, and this insides change so much. Yes, they do. They're both they have good dads. Helen says, "Oh no, she's going to attack." Yes, she is. Helen says the Osiris is going to beat their asses. Yes, it is. I don't think that's not, in all honesty, that's not a surprise, right? Sophie says, I can try creating a Discord and we'll see if people join and engage or not. Of course, we the fans will run everything so that it doesn't take you and Kat any of your time. Great. I have no problem though, announcing it and occasionally sending out email reminders about it so people know that it's there. Kat says Discord was my third thought. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name. And Melissa says, great reading. Raythe loved it. Thank you. So Sophie's going to create a Discord. And she says, I think it's better so that we can have a channels for each story and avoid spoilers, and everyone who's interested can join. We'll see if it works or not. Yeah, I mean, that's as we grow bigger, it's hard, it's good. So people saying bye. I'm happy to live. Yes. Discord. Yes. Yes. I came to say bye. All right, guys, this was really fun as always. This was really, really, really great. Delta's Matt says, "Ditto your word as work as a game changer in this genre. Gotta run. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. See you next weekend. Yes, next weekend we're up again. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna cut off now, but Kat will put this up again on YouTube and on Facebook. If it does, Facebook I think does it automatically, but she'll know. I love y'all. You take care. Please be safe. For those of you who are celebrating Thanksgiving in the US, enjoy yourselves. But once again, be safe, okay? Take care, everybody. Bye.